You know that feeling you get when your accountant sends you a list of 50 transactions with questions like, what was this $17 charge at Walmart last month? Let's make sure that doesn't happen again. Today, I'm going to show you 2 stupid, simple ways to keep track of your receipts. These are by no means the only ways, but they're quick, easy, free, and have worked for me and my clients. Before we dive in, I'm Nate Kobos. I'm an EA and QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, and my goal is to help small business owners simplify their accounting so they can spend less time at the computer and more time delivering great service to their customers and spending time with their families. So how do we actually keep track of our receipts? Well, there's a bunch of ways to do it, but the 2 ways I'm going to show you today are using the QuickBooks Online app and using Google Drive. We'll start with the QuickBooks Online app. Okay, so we're here at Fred Meyer. I just ran inside and bought some supplies, and so now I have my receipt, and we're going to go ahead and put it into QuickBooks, the QuickBooks Online app, and we're also going to put it into our Google Drive. So we'll go ahead and jump over to the phone, and I'll show you. First, I'll show you how to scan your receipt using the QuickBooks app. So we're just going to open up the app. Here we are in the QuickBooks Online app. We're going to tap up here on Snap Receipt. So all we're going to do is just take our receipt, snap a picture of it. So right there, QuickBooks has snapped the receipt. So I'm going to hit OK, upload the document. Got it. So right there, my receipt has been uploaded. Now when I get back to the computer, that receipt will be waiting in QuickBooks for us to process. Alternatively, we can just tap here on the menu button, go to Receipt Snap, and you'll see for review. So we've got this one for review from Fred Meyer. That's the one we just snapped. And so we can go ahead and if we want to, you can go ahead and enter in a category here. So we'll just, look up office supplies. Boom. And I can go ahead and save the receipt. Too easy. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do it, how to scan the receipt using the Google Drive method. And so for this, we're just going to go to our Google Drive app. I'm just going to open up my Drive app. I'm going to go to here to my starred folders. So all I need to do there is tap on it. And I'm just going to press this. And I don't want to go into my processed receipts folder. I'm just going to leave it in the receipts folder. But I'm just going to go ahead and tap on this little scan icon. And right there, I'll just scan the document. Keep the scan. And we're done. And if you want, you can name the receipt. You really don't have to, because when we drag it into QuickBooks, QuickBooks will automatically pull the data and kind of help us match it to the right transaction. And so there it is. It's right there in our receipts folder. That took all of 5 seconds. So now we'll jump over to the computer and I'll show you what we do when we're back at the desk. All right, so I'm back at the desk and got QuickBooks opened up. And so I came over here to the Receipts tab. To do that, you're just going to come down here, Transactions, and click on Receipts. And so now that we're here, you can see here at the top, we've got that receipt that we just scanned. And so we're going to click on Review. So from here, we can do one of 2 things. We can go ahead and process the expense and say, hey, office supplies, okay, perfect, save and close. Right now, the transaction is pending in the bank. When the transaction actually posts and comes into the bank feed, QuickBooks will automatically recognize that those 2 are matched and will suggest the match to us. The second option is if you, depending on your workflow, if you like keeping your receipts in this For Review tab zeroed out or cleared out, then what you can do is you can come over here, click Review, and from here you can go ahead and process the transaction. And so we're just going to verify everything that we entered on the app. So it's an expense at Fred Meyer, payment date, okay, category, got it, an amount is correct, and then here we have it. We can check our receipt. Perfect, it all matches. So we're just going to hit Save and Close. And as soon as we do that, QuickBooks is going to remove this from the For Review tab and move it over here to the Reviewed tab where we can see, boom, there it is. All right, so now that I've shown you how to upload your receipt straight from the QuickBooks Online app, I'll show you how to process them if you're going to use the Google Drive method. The Google Drive method oftentimes works best for folks that have a lot of employees out in the field who are all generating receipts, and it's not feasible for them to have to each have a QuickBooks Online login. If you want to use the Google Drive method, let me show you how to get it set up. To keep track of receipts using Google Drive, the first thing we're going to want to do is set up our drive. So here I've got a demo drive that's totally blank, and we're going to go ahead and create a new folder, and we're just going to call it Receipts. If you have Google Drive linked to your File Explorer, you can also do this in File Explorer. Once we've got our receipt folder set up, we're gonna go into that folder and we're gonna make a new folder called Processed Receipts. Now the last thing we need to do is make sure our receipts folder is shared with everybody who's gonna need access to it to upload or download receipts. So to do that, we're gonna come back out here to demo. All right, so here's our receipts folder. We're gonna click share. And from here, we can add a list of everybody who needs access. Our accountant, any employees, office admin, etc., all need to have access to this drive, so we'll go ahead and share it with them. In this example, I'm just gonna add my teammate Matt right there, Matt at Saga Accounting. And here I recommend changing your employees' permissions from content manager to contributor, and that's just to help prevent employees from accidentally deleting receipts out of the folder. Once I've got this ready, I can go ahead and send this invite to him, or I can get a link that I can share with everybody via whatever method is convenient. We're gonna to bring in our receipts from Google Drive. We have two ways to do it. Option one is we just open this window up and we open up our Google Drive, and here it is. Here's our receipts folder. Here's the receipt we scanned, and we can just drag it right here onto this little autofill, and boom, QuickBooks is gonna process the file. While QuickBooks is doing that, we're gonna take any files that we moved into QuickBooks, and we'll just move them over here to the processed receipts folder, and that way we know these have been dumped into QuickBooks, right? And then, so I'll give this a second to scan, and while it does, I'll show you the other way we can do this. And so the other way is to click Upload Receipts and upload from Google Drive, and you can actually link your Google Drive to QuickBooks directly. And so it's gonna prompt you to log in using your Google Drive credential. Here we are, so we're gonna just click Receipts, and boom, there we are, there's our receipt. So we can just select it that way and import it straight from Google Drive like that. I personally am a big fan of just dragging them in, because you can, if you have a whole stack of these, you can just drag them in real quick, drop them in there, move them to the process receipts folder, and you're done. I know keeping track of receipts sucks. That said, it sucks a whole lot less than potentially having tens of thousands of dollars of deductions disallowed in the event of an audit. In the event of an audit, one of the things an auditor is going to look at is your receipts. If you're unable to come up with receipts, an auditor could potentially disallow all the expenses that you've claimed and can't back up, which could increase your tax bill significantly. The second reason we want to keep track of receipts is purely about convenience. As an accountant, I hate having to bother clients with questions about their transactions, especially transactions from places like Costco or Walmart or Amazon, where the transaction could be anything. It's a lot easier for the client and for us when the client takes the time to upload receipts. That way we're able to just look at the receipts and figure out what a transaction was for instead of having to do a back and forth with the client. It saves the clients a bunch of time, and it saves us a bunch of time and keeps things moving. Plus, it has the added benefit of rounding out the financial records and making sure that you're covered in the event of an audit. All right, so one more thing I forgot to mention is that maybe you're in an industry where you're in and out of the truck all the time, you're in a service business and you're jumping in and out of the truck to go to the hardware store, go to the gas pump, whatever. And maybe it just makes more sense to you to scan in your receipts kind of in batches instead of scanning each one in individually as you get it. If that's the case, one thing I definitely recommend looking at is getting yourself either a receipt spike like this. Here's one with some receipts on it, right? Or getting yourself one of these little accordion folders, just like this one, and just leave one of those too, whether it's the spike or the folder. Just leave them in the center console of the truck, and that way, whenever you're jump back in the truck, put your receipt away. It's done. It's there. Then at the end of every week, you're just gonna take all those receipts, scan them in yourself. If you work for a bigger company, you have an office admin, bring them to the admin, let them scan all of it in. But that way, you don't have to scan it every single time as you go. All right, hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. I know keeping track of receipts can be a major hang up for a lot of small businesses. So hopefully you guys are able to implement one of the two methods we showed you today. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you did, do us a favor, drop us a like. Go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be putting out new videos like this every week. If you have a tax, accounting, or bookkeeping topic that you'd like us to make a video about, let us know in the comments or shoot us a message. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.